Imagine, just for a second, putting 5 years of work into something. Imagine every second you put into that, only to fall short time and time again. But then, imagine success. Imagine overcoming all barriers and completing the task that you set out to do. Imagine that, and you'll see exactly what running has been to me. Okay, so this video is gonna be about how I went from 1848 to 1642 in 1 year. I wanna help you guys be able to improve the same way, so I'm gonna give you guys some tips on how I was able to cut 2 minutes off my 5K time and what I did training-wise to get there. Let's get it started. Let's compare results from both of these 2 years. So last year, I was able to run an 1848 and I got 134th out of 143 runners. This year though, I was able to run 1642 and I got 84th out of 150. This is a huge improvement and just shows that with a bit of hard work, you can go from being one of the worst to a middle of the pack runner. Okay, so I'm gonna head back home, and then once I get back, we can start talking about training.
Conditions apply.
Let's go ahead and go inside and grab my running journal. This is my running notebook, which includes almost every run I've done over the past year and a half.
I want it, I like it, I buy it. I told her she gotta come try it. They wondering what I've been doing. I told them I'm keeping it quiet. I pull up, you know I be moving.
So within this notebook, you can really look and see over the past year and a half exactly how my training has been. If you don't write it down, you're not going to be able to remember it, and you're not going to be able to compare yourself from this time to that time. So it's really imperative that you keep a log of some sort of what kind of runs you do, which is why I can use this right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at the training I did 2 summers ago versus last summer to get into the shape that I am in currently, and how I was able to cut 2 minutes off of my 5K. Okay, so first off, let's flip this notebook back to last spring, right before I was gonna run the 1848. So in the weeks before I ran this 5K, I was running 25 miles a week, which obviously is not a lot. It's about 5 miles 5 times a day. One other thing to note here is that I was super inconsistent. There would be some weeks when I would take 3 or 4 days off in a row, and having that consistency is what really matters to make you better in the long run. So ultimately, I ended up hitting that 1848. Looking back, it was actually probably pretty good for what training I was doing. I was running about 5 flat in miles as well. But let's go ahead now and look ahead to last summer when I was really starting to train up to run this 1642 that I did just a month ago. So last summer I was starting to hit 60-mile weeks, which was really, really key to the training. Having that long distance, slow grind up to get more fit and stronger over time. And then eventually seeing it pay off a couple months later when I peaked perfectly for track. So during these 60-mile weeks, I was running at least 6 times a week. I would often double, so it actually ended up being about 8 or 9 runs a week. And everything here is a solid pace Low 7s for easy runs. Workouts would be a little bit faster. But really, it all just boils down to one thing. One critical thing. If you really want to get faster, all you need to do is get out there and run more. Being consistent and doing more mileage is going to make you better almost no matter what else you do in your training. So if there's one thing I can tell you, it is that. So it's really important to just get out there and run every single day if you can. But you also got to do the little things, getting enough sleep, having the right diet, doing some core, stretching a whole lot so you don't get injured. Doing all of those things will also help you so much here in the long run. A couple months after all of this training will pay off. And so that's going to wrap it up for the video, guys. I really hope you understand it is just more running to get you to these better spots in better times. If you want to start running well in a year, you got to start now and get that basic training down. I'll be out with more running videos in the future, but for now, I will see you in the next one.
Forced labor right here. This is some tough stuff.